Wait.
Here we are.
Here we are in the heart of Williamsburg.
In the heart of...
Ready to stream live.
NoDi. No.
Wait,
NoDi. NoDi
north
works.
of...
See, there is a right way to do it.
Wait, no, what does it mean?
North Williamsburg. No.
Oh my God. I was thinking WE, so I couldn't like put it together.
Okay,
like,
wait. North, because otherwise it would be like north of North 7th.
Sure. No, 7. Like, why not? There's no rules to this.
Okay, we can't be too inside baseball. We're going to really, really try to make sure that we bring folks along for the ride.
Yeah,
here.
we'll try to be really relatable.
Exactly.
That's
so
what
relatable.
I'm always trying to do is be
You're
relatable.
So relatable.
Yeah.
Happy Pride.
Thank you.
I saw you came out.
Yeah,
and then
I did.
You went back in.
Yeah, I came out on the 1st, I think, and then it was just a joke. So I was like, "Oh, guys, that was like just a joke."
I had people literally text me and be like, "Wait, is he gay or not?"
It's so funny to me when people like don't. I mean, I sometimes I feel like I'm doing terrorism when I do stuff like that, but like it's just like I'm comfortable with like any conclusion that people make. So like it's just like cool, like fun. Like it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
You're 2 thumbs up about it. You're like whatever you want. Yeah, exactly.
That's me. Literally, when people react, if you just react to me, I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thanks. I appreciate the attention.
You deserve the attention. You are willing to do the things that get you the attention.
Some of them, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there's certainly things that I consider doing and then I don't do.
Okay.
Because I find them embarrassing or maybe morally wrong or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like that's appropriate and I think that that's a good instinct. But I will say the more that you ship, the more I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I really respect it. Okay. I'm Natasha Hoskins.
I'm QuasiMatt.
You're QuasiMatt. We're here. This is Boys Club Live. And we love doing the show. We have 2 very wonderful partners who make this show possible. That is Polygon and Vercel. We're going to talk a little bit about both of them, but I'm going to talk about Polygon first and we'll talk about Vercel later in the show. So every company moving money globally hits the same walls. Legacy rails are slow, expensive, and built for a pre-internet world. Stablecoin rails are fast, but they're fragmented across vendors that don't talk to each other. The plumbing to deliver on the promise of stablecoins hasn't existed. Polygon's open money stack is fixing that. One unified stack that puts global money movement onto proven rails that moves at the speed of the internet. I was doing so good. Moves at the speed of the internet. And why Polygon? Because there have been moving money. Check out the link in the chat to learn more. We heart Polygon. We also have an amazing little new segment with them called Cash Tips. It's a new show that we're doing in partnership with them. Real conversations with people building the future of finance. That is in episodes and on LinkedIn. So check that out as well. That's Polygon.
I love the expansion to LinkedIn. I forgot to tell you about this. Like you tagged me in a video that you posted on LinkedIn and I was like, whoa, like electric, but I just wasn't expecting it.
Okay. I got a text the other day when someone said, oh my God, you on LinkedIn, recession indicator.
No, I think it's a growth indicator. I think it's a vibe indicator. Cause if you stopped doing other things and then like pivoted to LinkedIn, I would be really scared. But you're expanding, you're holding on to your roots and your home platforms of X, Instagram,
there it is,
TikTok,
and
YouTube.
YouTube,
cross-platform. It's the future.
Speaking of YouTube, I don't know if Kate's here to send us to a subscriber graphic around YouTube, but we do have a YouTube channel. It's called Boys Club World. And what should they do?
They should subscribe, like every video, comment on every video, as well as hitting the bell for more updates.
Hit the bell.
That would be my suggestion.
Okay. We have a lot of fun things to talk about. I think you should start by, you had sort of what I would call a niche internet moment.
Right.
That hit the timeline in such a powerful way recently.
Right.
And I would like you to discuss it a little bit.
Yeah. So I guess for context, like people in New York, and I'm sure in other places too, like people are really concerned with neighborhoods and like they identify with their neighborhoods and people are like, oh, well, actually the border of this is here and it's not there. And this neighborhood, it has this vibe and blah, blah, blah. And so if you say anything about neighborhoods, people freak out.
Rage
like
bait.
Literally
Immediate
anything.
Rage bait.
Yeah. It's like rage. Yeah, it is rage bait. Like you don't even have to. That's the thing is like the rage is just already included. You don't have to try.
You're not even baiting. It's there.
Like, yeah, it's like already in people's minds, just waiting to be expressed. So about a year ago, I coined a neighborhood NoDi because there's an already controversial neighborhood in New York called Times Square, which some people, it emerged like very recently. Some people don't think it's real. It has like maybe kind of strange political affiliations, some might say. And then NoDi is north of Dimes. So I'm taking something that's already not widely accepted and creating a derivative of it.
Okay. Yes, you have done this. I didn't know that you started a year ago. You have been really laying the foundation for this moment.
Yeah. Well, so a year ago, I was considering moving because I live in NoDi. I love my area, but I didn't like my apartment at the time. I still don't like my apartment, but like, I was like, well, where am I willing to move? And I was thinking about like, where am I willing to move? Like, where do I get the vibe that I want?
Yeah.
And so I like drew a border around a certain area and I was like, oh, well, this is NoDi because it is. There's like a specific vibe that
NoDi
is in that neighborhood.
For north of Dimes Square.
North of Dimes. Yeah. North of Dimes Square. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I added the square. That was immature.
Well, it's like
that was immature of me.
Like it's like correct, but it makes the NoDi sound like it should have like a squat at the end, which I don't like.
You don't.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like.
Okay. So you started tweeting about this. You have moved on from Flatiron. This is honestly the neighborhood update of the segment.
Yeah. I have to be obsessed with the neighborhood, I guess, at all times.
Yes.
So I've been tweeting like somewhat, like I've been tweeting a little bit about NoDi over the past literally year, but like no one really cared. But then there was a critical moment where the entire globe really just zoomed in on NoDi and everyone wanted to understand what was going on because our friend Cheryl posted a picture of ASAP Rocky because he was watching the Knicks game with us in NoDi. So there's like a party in the street to watch the game because the TV was like facing the street. And then ASAP Rocky pulled up. And then that tweet said NoDi in this kind of like literal way, like just, oh, I'm in NoDi.
Yeah.
And it went viral and people were like, what is that? Like, this is transplant language. Like, how could you say that? You're in the Lower East Side. Like, what are you talking about? People got really, 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 really mad.
Yes.
But I think that when people getting mad at it, like makes it real.
Okay. Also, I will say a quality that all of these people that are in this roundup that then Emily Suttenberg of Feed Me rounded up a few tweets about the NoDi neighborhood that had gone viral. Right. Yours, Cheryl, James. All friends.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. All my friends are famous on the internet at the same moment in the same tweet. It was very like, the simulation is broken is what I felt.
Well, I think that the best internet things, like the best moments online are like the performance of like friendship or relationships. Like doing a bit together is so much more interesting than like operating alone. Like I think this is why content houses popped off because it's like cool to see how people interact with each other. I think like I always think of Brockhampton too. Like I think Brockhampton performed friendship and this like emerged like during that time. And I think like I'm always trying to do that. Like I'm always trying to like rope people into my shenanigans. I'm like always happy to join other people's shenanigans. So yeah, we all were curated by Emily Sundberg and then she manifested NoDi.
And then I saw a tweet
with us.
I saw a tweet later that she said getting death threats from literally just showing other people's tweets. And I was like, that's insane to feel that upset about it. I saw some takes that were really, really upset. Like people, it triggered something for people.
No, people freak out.
Both in terms of like making it about going way too deep. Like this is about gentrification. This is like your culture is not my costume, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But additionally, like this is tired. This has been done. Like I think it was Nolita Dirtbag that retweeted one of the tweets and said something along the lines of like, this was funny when South Park did it 12 years ago and it's like not funny today or something. And I was just like, okay, it's just like really not that serious.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like people will often accuse me of like beating a dead horse and they act like it's this like revelation that they've had. It's like, oh, this guy seems to do the same joke over and over. And it gets a little bit old. And it's like, well, that's like literally the point.
That's
like
bit.
You're like literally at step one. Like if you've like understood that the repetition is the bit, it's like, okay, now you're like starting to get there. Yeah. Totally. Maybe do a little more studying and you might like figure it all out.
Totally.
But yeah, it's like, of course it's been done before. Like I think like a fixation on originality, especially when it comes to humor, is kind of dumb. Like basically everything has been done before. Like, everything is a remix of something that's been done before. It's just like, can you recontextualize it? Can you make it fun to talk about? Like that's like the only thing that matters. And like some people, it's not going to be fun to talk about for them. And that's fine. For me,
so fun.
It's really fun to talk about.
I'm having a great time.
I'm going to keep doing it.
I'm totally having a great time. So, okay, that's micro neighborhoods in New York City. I just want to say, I know that New Yorkers feel as though that we live in the center of the universe and that New York is the center of the universe. And I just need everybody to know that that is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I will say that, so after NoDi happened, like other people felt liberated to create their own micro neighborhoods. And so we had things like Wacoste, which is west of Court Street, which is a subsidiary of Carroll Gardens. We also had a NoVi, which is north of Vital, which denotes a different part of the Lower East Side.
The Lower East Side. I was thinking
you could also say there are multiple Vital locations. So really,
also like north of Vital in Greenpoint, Williamsburg is like the Brat Wall. It's like it's lot radio. It's like a very distinct area. So I do feel that's the primary one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah,
exactly. No wrong answers.
And I just want to say, like, I encourage you, even if you don't live in New York, to come up with your own micro neighborhood.
100%.
And let everyone know its vibe and teach people about where you live. One of the coolest things that happened was like someone reached out with like a story about how their grandma or like someone in their history had lived in NoDi. Yeah, some person that they had like some DNA from like lived in NoDi like a long time ago, and then they moved to NoDi like generations later. Okay. And it was like an accomplishment. Like it started as like, like my grandma lived in NoDi when it was like disgusting and gross, and then I lived in it when it was like more gentrified. And so it's like it took 3 generations to go from NoDi to NoDi. But it like, because the neighborhood like changes underneath you. And it's like unavoidable.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 lessons for me in this. One, you have to commit to a bit. I think that to have something happen for you online, everyone always thinks this thing popped off and was viral in this moment. That is absolutely not true. It takes a year of tweeting about something incessantly for it to finally
literally
take
hold.
Like
people don't remember things. Like you have to say the same thing like 100 times before people really care. Yeah.
That's one lesson. And I think the other lesson is that doing bits in friendship not only is more fun, but is also more effective. And I think the performative, what you were pointing to, is a lesson for those creating content. It's like, do it in community online, because one, people like to watch it, and it's like there's something about witnessing a social engagement online of friends that is just contagious, and 2, it's also just effective.
Yeah, like it's effective and it's more fun too. Like I love, to me it's like an invitation. Like, hey guys, I'm doing a bit, like do it with me.
Yes,
like that's like the best way. That's the most fun way to do it.
Yes,
and it's effective too. Yeah,
great. I also think for people who follow you online, they need to know online you come off scary. Like if I
feel like you really think I'm scary on the internet. I don't think that's like the general take.
Okay,
like, most people are not telling me this.
Okay, well, I just want to say, if people feel that, you're not alone. And also you want people to jump in. Okay, we need to move on from micro neighborhoods because we could talk about this for an unending amount of time.
Right.
The next topic that I would like to discuss with you is the Timothée Chalamet Kalshi ad.
I just got caught up on it. Yeah.
And the tape is here. We are going to roll the tape. Kate, it's in media. If you want to play that out. I think we're playing it. Maybe not. We'll get there. I see your search.
Well, there's a lot of infection in there, Timmy. You're doing really well. Are you feeling anything?
Coffee.
I don't understand, but this is going very well.
No. Coffee.
Kashi?
Coffee. Coffee.
Kashi? Kashi? What's Kashi?
Okay. So for those who are unfamiliar with Kalshi, it is a prediction market similar to Polymarket.
I love the idea that like someone would know Polymarket and then not Kalshi.
I do think that might be true.
Yeah, actually that probably is true. Yeah. Like to me, they go hand in hand, but
Me too.
Yeah, you could have like seen marketing of one and not the other.
Exactly.
But yeah, basically you can bet on stuff.
You can bet on stuff. You can bet on the culture. You can bet on sports. You can bet on politics, whatever. For those who don't know who Timothée Chalamet is, Oscar nominated.
Go watch a movie. Like he's in those.
Okay. I have thoughts on this ad. Do you want to hear my thoughts or do you want to give me your thoughts?
You can go first. You've had more time to think about it. I've just watched this video for the first time. Yeah.
Okay. So my thoughts are get your bag.
Of course. Yeah. That's always my thought.
Like
my reaction to everything.
100%. My second thought is this is incoherent. It makes no sense. And then thinking about those two things together. Why, who, when, getting into those questions. I believe that he and his team said, the only way that I'm going to do this ad for Kalshi, and I like people have strong feelings about prediction markets and gambling, and people feel upset by it.
Yeah.
And so a celebrity endorsement of a prediction market is a risk.
Totally.
And so I think he went to Kalshi and he said, the only way that I'm going to do this is if I have complete creative control. I get to do whatever I want. This is an art piece. This is an art installation. This is a bit. He's doing a bit, actually. And then they said, great, you have to say Kalshi 6 times. Exposure to a brand requires 6 moments of exposure. And so then he says Kalshi, I think 6 times. And then he said, great, I'll do that if you buy me courtside tickets the entire time. Payment, courtside tickets, and the ad. And it's smart for both of them because I don't know about the creative direction thing, but like he's so in the zeitgeist right now. The timeline's blowing up with him celebrating the Knicks win. And then this ad comes out. What do you think about that?
I think it's like a really raw exposition of this idea that like the media itself doesn't really matter and like only the affiliation matters.
Okay.
Because like I think like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, people are going to talk about this because it's so like absurd and weird. But then like once I looked at the tweet and like saw its engagement, like people weren't really engaging with it much at all. I think maybe it's like so indecipherable that people like don't even know what to do with it. So it's just like interesting that they're willing to have like they're not trying to push a narrative at all. They just want publicity, which I think is really interesting because like Kalshi is in a position where like to me they do have like there are things that there are narratives that they should probably push in public consciousness, and it's like strange for them to not take an opportunity to do that and rather just like be like, here's Timothée Chalamet. So yeah, I'm kind of like, it feels weird to me.
I think that this ad is not for individuals who don't know what Kalshi is. This ad is for people who are already, in my opinion, already trading or look at Kalshi but haven't traded and need some sort of affiliation to be like, okay, that's cool. This is not someone in, I don't know, what's a state that's not New York? Iowa, who's never heard of Kalshi. First of all, they're not seeing this ad. It's on Twitter. Maybe it's on Instagram. Maybe they see it on Instagram.
Yeah.
But they're not watching it and thinking, oh my God, like that's so cool. What's Kalshi? But someone maybe in it already trading on Kalshi sees this and was like, oh, that's cool. Timothée Chalamet is like a Kalshi trader.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
I don't watch the ad and get Timothée Chalamet is a Kalshi trader. I watch the ad and I get Timothée Chalamet was paid a lot of money to do an ad for Kalshi. So like, I feel like there is this entire segment, which maybe I shouldn't, this is like bad for my career and my life to say, but like, I do not understand that form of marketing. Like I actually think like, because I feel that in any capacity where I've been a marketer, I have been at least somewhat able to embody the consumer and understand what they want and think.
Yeah.
I do not understand like who is the person who is watching this ad and going like, this is going to meaningfully change my behavior in any way. Like I genuinely like I'm like sort of skeptical that that's true at all. And maybe that's like not the point of it. But yeah, I don't really know. I like truly like don't get it at the most basic level. It's like really fascinating to me.
I agree.
Like, I'm into like pushing a story, but like there's no story. Like all of that is very natural and legible to me.
Yes.
But if there's no like story, then I'm like, what's going on here?
Totally. It's art, I guess. I really don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the name with Timothée Chalamet, and we're talking about it. I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But the numbers that it did on social are like unextraordinary in my opinion. Like for the amount of money that they spent, 9,000 likes on Twitter.
Can we try to like get into what the video actually is and means? Like, I feel like maybe this is a fool's errand, but like, okay, he's in the dentist's office, and is it clear what he's trying to say when he says Kalshi? Like, is there like a joke where he's trying to say something else, but it sounds like Kalshi?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's that people don't know how to pronounce Kalshi, and that's the bit, maybe.
Okay.
And then he goes from the dentist chair to the apartment where he's like hitting his head.
He's hitting his head because the people above him are making noise, I think.
Correct.
Which I can really relate to because like 3 days ago, so the Knicks have been really inspiring, and the small child that lives above me has now begun to bounce a basketball in the apartment. And it's kind of weird because like if it was an adult, I would go up there and slam on the door and scream expletives. Like for sure. It is so antisocial. Like, you are crazy for doing that. Yeah. But because it's a child, I have to be like, I can't do that, obviously. No. Like, I have to be more normal about it. So now I just have like this sort of drama with the adults that live in the apartment, like kind of, where I'm like, yo, like he needs to stop doing that.
Right. What do they say?
It like sort of works, but they're just like, they do not care. Like they're super like,
don't give a fuck.
We do not care about any problems that we create for other people, like ever at all.
Whoa.
So it's just like kind of hard to deal with. So I'm just kind of like rude to them.
Passive aggressive.
Because that's like the only, aggressive. Like I'm literally just rude to them. But like that's because that's like the only thing I can do, right? Is like if you're gonna be a little bit annoying to me, then like I'm gonna make you uncomfortable every single time I see you.
Totally. I just need to tell you that I really need the Knicks to win so that I can get my life back. I need to retake my life. And the problem is the World Cup.
See, so then I lose my life again. World Cup yet.
Oh, you're gonna get so into it.
My only World Cup story though is that I was having a drink outside yesterday, and there were all these like flags for countries like up on the sidewalk, and then this guy walked by and ripped down the Brazil flag and then threw it on the ground. And I was like, oh, I feel like he hates like the Brazil soccer team.
I will say there. Wow. The World Cup is so fun. There's so much energy. I will say there's a lot more like explicit racism that happens around the World Cup because it's like a country pride thing. Yeah. But then it like gets weird fast where you're like, whoa, like actually like you can't like really maybe do that. Like just be like, I hate this country. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that tends to happen. But on a positive note, very exciting. It's good vibes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, I mean, the Knicks taught me that sports can have good vibes. Like I already knew that, but like I'm truly like not that interested in watching sports. Like I liked playing sports as like a sports player back in the day, but I never got into watching them. Okay. But now I'm like, well, if we go out in the street, then it's fun.
Totally. It's so
like
fun.
the New York Knicks made me appreciate watching sports.
Wow. Clip it.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Okay. So do you have another topic? Because the economics of basketball. We should probably just get into.
Oh yeah, I mean, while we're on the topic.
We're on the topic.
So my thing is, I was thinking one of the Knicks games felt very architected, down by 27, like almost buzzer beater win at the very end, like super dramatic. It's giving scripted. Like the game seemed scripted. A lot of it. I was talking to people about how the refs kind of, like I was like, oh, I hope the series gets tied for more drama because I care more about drama than like the Knicks. Like I want them to win, but I don't need it to be in 4.
You want 7 games.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want extension. And so I was talking to someone about it and they were like, oh, don't worry about it. Like the refs got it. Like they'll architect this situation. And I was like, oh yeah, like that seems right. Like all the economic incentives are there. Like
yes,
they want to sell tickets to the games. So they need as many games as possible. But then I was thinking more about like, okay, what are if they are doing some WWE type thing where it's all being like constructed, then it seems like every single year the final should be like the Lakers and the Knicks because that's where all the rich people live and those are the people who will buy the tickets for clout because like essentially one of the Knicks games became a PR campaign for like Taylor Swift and Timothée Chalamet and like it draws all this attention that it doesn't draw like if you have it in some like San Antonio or something like that.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, none of it makes sense. Like it's sort of economic, but it's also sort of not. Like it seems like they do care about the people being good at basketball to some extent.
Yeah, I do feel as though you there has to be some integrity around it or it wouldn't exist.
Right. It has to at least have the illusion of integrity.
Illusion of integrity. That's a perfect way of saying it. And I do think that like it's a perfect a container for people to spend money in so many ways. Like I think about how much I'm going out and the amount of money that I'm spending casually at these bars. And I'm just like, everybody's doing that. Like, and when they were down 27 at halftime, I was like biking home and I was literally like, this is bad for the economy. Like, this is bad for the New York City jobs.
Yeah, like people stopped buying drinks.
Exactly.
Which is the most economically productive thing you could ever do is like go to the bar and purchase a damn beverage.
Exactly. So I do think that it's there's definitely a lot of discourse online about it being rigged and that they're going to do everything they can to bring it to 7 games. I don't know that that's like explicit. I'm curious how explicit that is to the refs and to like if it's stated or suggested.
Right. Yeah.
I think it must be suggested.
Yeah, I would think it all operates on like plausible deniability. Like no one ever says it outright, but it's just kind of like understood that it needs to be like extended.
Like Harvey Weinstein. No one's saying it directly. I mean, I guess people were saying it directly, but
well, up until a certain point.
Right.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a wink and a nod.
Right.
It's kind of maybe the same thing here.
Yeah, I feel like that's right.
Yeah. Same thing. Harvey Weinstein and the New York Knicks doing the same thing.
It's all performance. Yeah.
It's all performative. Okay. I have one more topic that I want to discuss before our first guest gets here. And I can't believe you have not seen this. So speaking of, wow, this is really a sports episode.
Well, that's life these days. New York and sports. That's what I'm all about at the moment.
Okay. There is a man named Freddy. He is a German fan. He's a German man who is a fan of the German soccer team.
Okay.
He is, I know that you are new to the World Cup based on this segment here.
Yeah.
But the World Cup is in North America this year. So Canada, Mexico, United States. You're familiar with the North American.
Yeah, I have heard of North America before. I actually heard that some of the games are happening like in New Jersey, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's happening all across, but there's games in New Jersey. And what that means is that there are a lot of international tourists who are coming into the United States.
Okay, exciting.
Some for the first time, experiencing the glory that can be the Americas.
Well, that makes me really want to know where the stadiums are because it could change so dramatically.
Oh my God. And what we're seeing from this man, Freddy, is that he is touring the South of America. He's doing a road trip up the South of the America.
Okay. Already?
Games have started.
Oh, they already started?
They
okay,
started.
That's great. I have heard literally nothing. Like I thought it was like coming up.
Okay, it just started. So you're early. You're still early. But he's here and he is so excited about the most mid experience of the United States. Walmart, Costco, Chipotle, Wendy's, Chili's, Bass Pro Shop.
What's mid about those? Like, I love all of those.
Okay, they are all special and unique in their own way. But the way in which this man is tweeting about like a road trip through rural Alabama, taking pictures of different like gas stations and essentially saying the vibes are electric is like, you're going to be obsessed with him.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So like, we have this one video. So he said, this is what the tweet said. The vibes are insane. Driving through the great state of Louisiana on our way to New Orleans. It's crazy how diverse this country is. Every day the scenery looks different. Play the tape. Play the tape, Kate. We have a tape of him. Know that you are going to look at all these tweets and you are going to unequivocally agree with every single one of them. There's one where he's eating Chipotle, watching one of the Knicks finals in a Hamptons Garden Inn. And he's like, it's amazing here. And I'm just like, that's wonderful. I love to see it.
Yeah, I totally get it too. Cause like I lived in Germany for a year and I was kind of like that. Like I was like, oh, this is all like really cool and novel and interesting.
Okay.
Like
about Germany.
Yeah. And I was in like the middle of nowhere, Germany too. I mean, yeah, like he's basically, we're just flipping. Like I did that in Germany, and I would literally get like, I don't know, a meal that a German person would just have access to at all time. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like it's the same as him going to like Wendy's.
Okay. So one of the things the way that he tweets about Wendy's, he called it like the serendipity of Wendy's or something. Like it's just, everything is quotable. But I think a take that I have heard, which was fresh to me. Okay, wait. Kate's putting up some stats about the World Cup. World Cup games are hosted in 11 regions in the United States: Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York/New Jersey, Philadelphia, the San Francisco Bay Area, and
Kansas
Seattle.
City is crazy. Like that was the one where I was really like, why are we doing that?
Okay. We're giving a breadth of experience of the United States of America.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But one of the takes that I heard from somebody that had not crossed my mind, which I'm not saying that this take is correct, I'm just saying that I had heard it, is that a lot of people internationally envy the middle class experience of America, where maybe if you live in rural Sicily, the idea of being able to go to a Walmart where you could get literally anything you've ever needed in your life, 10-minute drive from where you live, is extraordinary. The idea that you can get like fast food on every corner is amazing. That's a take.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think it's just a grass is always greener thing.
Yeah.
Because like when I was in Germany, I would just like look at normal people like living their like rural German lives. And I would be like, honestly, I feel like my parents would be happier if they were like that. Like it makes more sense to me because to me, like a lot of things about German life are more like for normal people. Whereas I think like, I mean, in New York is like not for normal people, right? Like it caters to like the wealthy. And there are other places in America where I would say that's also the case. And like, I feel like the average life in many places seems better. But I feel like they're just like seeing things that are unfamiliar to them, assuming that they're better than they are, and then running with that, which is like the same thing that we would. It literally is just grass is greener.
It is grass is greener. I will say he's absolutely blowing up on Twitter. He, on January 6th, had 11,000 followers. Today, as of today, he has 345,000 followers. Period.
No, I think it is cool to like see someone. It feels good to have someone like look at your life and what you do and go, oh, this is actually desirable. Because I think you lose sight of that all the time. Like I lose sight of that. And then all of a sudden I'll see tourists being like really excited to look at the Flatiron building. And I'll be like, oh my God, I do that like every day. Like I forgot that like my life is actually so electric.
Totally.
It's a good reminder.
It is a good reminder.
It like genuinely feels good though. Like I can understand why people would want to like follow that and like see what he's saying and just be like, oh yeah.
It's positive on the timeline. Yeah. And I think people like that, especially I think when people are feeling less excited about America generally. Yeah. So, okay. A funny meme that Kate has added here. People arguing about the World Cup. Freddy just loving life. Okay. I think you should tell us a little bit about Vercel. And we have a little video that we're going to play as well. So go for it.
Let me read you a little something about one of my favorite companies, Vercel. If I can find it. Okay. If you are a startup building with agents, look no further than Vercel. Their agentic infrastructure gives you and your agents everything you need to ship. And if you're supported by one of their hundreds of VC or accelerator partners, you have access to exclusive discounts and benefits. Deploy faster, scale globally, and ship world-class AI products. Check out the platform thousands of companies use from day zero to IPO at vercel.com/startups. I love Vercel's products, but I think the more important thing that they do, the most culturally relevant and powerful and utility maximizing activity is they sponsor Show Me Your Stack, which has a new episode with Alana of Base Case Capital that's out now.
It's out now.
Here's the trailer.
I like time to explore and to actually build things. People make jokes about the GitHub green squares, and it's like, yes, I actually do code every day. If you want to exercise consistently, you do it every day. If you want to like build things, at least my personality, I just have to make time for it every day, or else I wouldn't do it at all.
Go watch it. It's on our YouTube. It's on Julia Rosenberg's Twitter. It's a great episode. Very fun stuff. She also has an incredible website, which is going to be linked in the show notes as well. So go check it out. Show me your stack. Okay, we've covered a lot here. We've talked about the World Cup. We've talked about the Knicks. We've talked about Kalshi. We are going to talk about prediction markets in a second with one of our guests. And I think that's a natural next step for us. I do have a question for you.
Well, let's hear it.
Do you bet?
I haven't for a long time.
Okay.
Like I have. So I was farming back when sports books would like basically give out free money. I would farm that with my roommates because they were really into it and they would always be watching sports.
Okay.
And so I did that. And then I did like a sort of automated arbitrage strategy on Polymarket for like a little bit, but then it ceased to be profitable. So I stopped. Okay. But I'm not like making big directional bets. Like I'm not like, cause I just like fundamentally don't believe that I have any
alpha.
Any like information, which is pretty like a pretty normal assumption to have.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily like find it fun to bet. Like I think there are better ways to gamble basically.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I'm very much like I'm kind of a fan of prediction markets because I understand that they're like people like to use them. And I think they're definitely an improvement upon sports books. Yeah. But I'm not like an avid user.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is sort of what I assumed of you. The other thought that I had is maybe I could have seen you being extremely into it in a very quiet way because you have some sort of edge that you're unwilling to share.
That's certainly not the case.
That's not what's going on?
Yeah. I don't really have any interesting and good information.
Okay.
I wish. Yeah. What is your relationship with
I will
markets?
place a bet every once in a while. I really enjoy them. I really think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think that it's maybe not good for society as a whole, but many things aren't. And
yeah, exactly. Like people smoke cigarettes all the time.
People drink alcohol all the time.
Right.
There's
and
a
like
lot
other
of
stuff. There's like bad stuff going on.
The internet addiction is real.
No, literally like people are consuming content like all the time.
Totally. Okay, Nick, come on down. How's it going? Hey. Good to see you.
Hello. Hi, Matt. Yeah, good to meet you.
Okay, come on in, get cozy. We might need to adjust
we can do some adjustments, some set design.
Okay, let me just pull this up here. It's okay to go by Nick, right? Yep. Okay, great. Okay, Nick Devor is a Barron's reporter covering the gambling industry and prediction markets. Friend of the pod, second time here.
Glad to be.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. It's always a treat to be here.
Thank you for being here. I think that there's a lot for us to cover right now. I do just want to start with, you saw the Kalshi ad.
Which one?
The Timothée Chalamet one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah,
we've discussed it, but we need to hear you.
It's very like post-ironic, like they're not really advertising anything, but like the association is enough, I guess.
Wow, you guys, same page.
We came to the same correct conclusion. The correct and obvious conclusion.
I don't know what I don't know who it's for that isn't already aware of what Kalshi is.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
I think that like your young man who's like into the Knicks is he like knows who Timothée Chalamet is. So I guess like you get the like Knicks and Timothy cosign with like, it's very, the fact that they're doing it while he is on our screens at the Knicks games, I think is on purpose.
Totally. When you're in, I'm assuming you're watching sports.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they come on screen, Timothy and Kylie.
Yeah.
What has your experience been in the bars?
In the bars?
Like, do
people cheer?
Cheering?
I guess they do. He's like a man of the people somehow.
Yes.
He's like gotten that.
I think because he's born and raised New Yorker.
Yeah.
I think that's what has given him some clout.
And let's not forget his chill vibe.
His
behavior is very conducive to being liked by the public.
I agree.
Like, I just want to say it's not about, yes, where he's born is a factor, but I think it's important to give him the credit of like being electric.
He conveys like authenticity in a way that I think like he's done a good job of seeming like unburdened by celebrity.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He's authentically like hype to be like at the Knicks game.
I agree.
Like, just feels lucky that he's like front row.
Yes.
Like I don't know how much of that is true, but that's like the vibe that you get from him there.
I totally agree. Okay, so you have I want to start with, you've been talking and reporting over the course of the past few months previously that there's like decline in sports books.
Yes.
And it seems like that has taken a turn. DraftKings stock is skyrocketing. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So I think we had a cover story out on Barron's this week, basically calling peak online sports betting. And I would just, when we talk about like DraftKings and Flutter and these companies that have online sports books, you have to remember that that's just one section of the business. They also have like iGaming, which is just like roulette on your phone, like digital casino games. Like that's a significant part of the business as well. But just online sports betting, yes, I think that we are seeing kind of a fall off from, or just like a plateau. 4 years ago, year over year, growth in handle, which is total dollars wagered in sports books, was like 100% year over year growth. And it was for like a while. For the first time since June 2020, the first quarter of 2026 handle declined year over year. So the chart is like this. We've kind of like gone from a bunch of sports betting all the time to there's just less new customers to onboard. In 2018, the Supreme Court opened up sports betting nationwide. Any state could legalize it if they wanted to. And a bunch of them did, one after the other, all from 2018 to like 2023.
So that's when you were trying to arbitrage the different sports books.
Yeah.
When they were doing all these promotions.
That was the time to do it because there was so much customer acquisition happening. They were giving away bonuses like crazy. And just from like a mathematic point of view, like there are less states now left to legalize, right? So there's less new customers in the system. And so there's less new money. And these companies are all about growth. And they were for a very, very long time. And so when things start to slow down, Wall Street just doesn't like that. And there's a big sell-off. On top of that, you have rising tax rates. The average national tax rate for a sports book is now like 23% or so. 4 years ago, it was like 12%. It's gone up a lot. The cost of doing business is just crazy high now. And all of that is on top of like a growing, I would say, betting fatigue among the public. Like I'm tired of seeing DraftKings ads on my sports. I'm tired of how everything is betting now. I feel inundated. Policymakers are starting to see that and starting to do, raise taxes, advocate for more responsible gambling measures, which have a net negative effect on revenues. So there's just a lot of headwinds right now with the online sports books. And that's like before we even start talking about prediction markets, which is what brought DraftKings stock up this week. At the beginning of the week, they had an SEC filing that their like ARR for their prediction market was $3.1 billion.
Oh my gosh.
So they've started to actually make money from their own prediction market. So I'll say that like they're projecting $3 billion preliminary numbers for the year. Kalshi does like $3 billion in sports in a week. So they still have a long way to go, but the market is starting to digest this idea that prediction markets aren't just bad for sports books. They can expand the total addressable market. These sports books have problems getting new customers. They're running out. And all of a sudden prediction markets come. You can kind of do this regulatory skirt around and get into Texas and California and offer what is in effect sports betting to customers that don't have any other way to bet with DraftKings.
This might be a dumb question, but are the prediction market feature or product within the sports books just on sports?
Yes, mostly. They'll do like culture. I don't think they're going to do elections. They have
it would be a really weird thing to be like, I'm in my DraftKings prediction market betting on like who's going to win the midterms.
And I think all of these companies are starting to like eat each other and just like become like the exchanges are becoming prediction markets and allowing betting on elections. The prediction markets are doing sports and allowing you to do a sports book. And then the sports books are starting to do like betting on stocks. Like you're kind of this like super speculation apps. They're kind of all becoming one another. Like your Coinbase, your DraftKings, your Polymarket. Like it's the same idea everywhere.
It's the same thing. Yeah, totally. There's also been some like regulatory changes in the market that you recently wrote about that the CFTC proposed sports prediction market rules. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So for the past since 2024, when Kalshi launched its election contract, the CFTC has kind of just been like, we'll get to it. Like, we'll start, developing more strict rules eventually. And over the past few months, there's been like a public comment period for rules that they're going to propose. Like, should we have rules on this? Should we have rules on that, etc. And so the CFTC came out with the first draft, basically, of what the rules would be. And what those rules do is they pretty much allow prediction markets or event contracts tied to sporting events and tied to individual player performance. So like, how many points will Jalen Brunson score, for example? Those are like okay under the CFTC. The things that aren't okay are like, will there be an injury? What will an officiating decision be? Because those things are subject to like one person, like one official can. So it's like easily manipulatable, etc. Those are the ones that they are curbing right now. And that's basically it. It's important to remember that this isn't even the last word that the CFTC will have on these rules. And really, none of it matters until, well, I mean, it matters, but like in 2 or 3 years, the Supreme Court will have weighed in. And we could have none of this. Like the sports there's a world in which sports prediction markets just go away. And that's if the Supreme Court is like, what are you guys doing? So that's kind of live right now. But in the meantime, DraftKings and FanDuel are developing their own prediction markets, and they're like, go, go, go. It's like the Uber model. Just like do it while it's like, do it while it's in the gray zone, and like someone will decide eventually, but like in the meantime, like acquire customers
and make it like so pervasive and have so many customers that the Supreme Court is like very pressed to make sure that it's like somewhat
yeah. But there's really no one knows. Like, this is one of those weird questions where like it doesn't split easily on like party lines, but like it could, like the Supreme Court loves like textualism these days, and like there's very convincing arguments that when these regulations were written, like Congress did not intend for sports betting. So like, I don't know. It's like a very open question. And I think anyone that tells you that like the Supreme Court is going to do this in regards to it is like full of shit. Like no one really knows.
That makes sense.
It's kind of interesting to me that they're fixated on like how many people have control over the outcome of the bet, because like on one hand, it does make sense at face value, but on the other hand, like financial markets are often swung by like a CEO saying one thing. And so it seems like that's just kind of an impossible goal.
Yeah. I think that part of it is because prediction and event contracts can be so specific. Like if you think about in that example, like a CEO saying something that moves the stock, like that sentence, you could make an argument that that shouldn't have moved the stock, right? But like if the event contract is, will the CEO say this word, and they say it, like that's like unambiguous,
right? Like the relationship between the action and the financial outcome is like one-to-one rather than implied or that makes sense.
Huge betting season right now, entering into the World Cup, NBA finals, lots and lots of money going into the internet gambling machines right now. Any thoughts?
It's going to be the biggest betting event in history.
Wow.
Like no joke. It's like 50 to 60 billion dollars globally will be wagered on the tournament is the estimate.
The World Cup.
The World Cup. Yeah. Damn. That's just the World Cup alone. The NBA is like, I mean, it's great, but like the World Cup for like global sports books is crazy. There's going to be a lot of fucking money bet on these tournaments. And yeah, in the US, it's really interesting because 90% of Americans betting on the World Cup will be doing so for the first time. That's according to Sport Radar. So that's like, this is just like a huge customer acquisition opportunity for these sports books. They don't plan to, this is not a revenue generator for them. It's getting new customers, getting people in the door.
World Cup as a loss leader.
Yes,
basically.
Pretty much.
You recently tweeted 100,000 bets per a minute.
Yeah, 100,000 bets per minute is what Flutter is expecting to handle.
That is insane.
It's really intense.
And Flutter is the parent company to FanDuel.
Flutter is the parent company of FanDuel, and they have sports books in Australia, Ireland, Scotland, England,
and
all over. So it's a global brand.
FanDuel's just the US?
FanDuel's just the US.
I see. Okay.
So they have that. They do that model everywhere. Like they'll go. Like Paddy Power is the one in Ireland that was like a local brand, and Flutter bought it. So they go into markets and find like local sports books, and they will just take them over. And
Flutter is daddy.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And how much, like what size of bets are you thinking? Is it all over the map, or is it like these are micro little?
It's all over. Yeah, I mean, the thing that's exciting for these sports books in the US is that the games will be on when we're awake, and like it's our time zones, so that enables live in-play betting, like who will score the next goal.
I see.
That kind of a thing. Whereas like if it's in, you know, wherever it was last year, the games are on at like 2 a.m. US bettors are not watching and like live betting when that's happening. And those live bets, those in-play bets are very high margin for the sports books. So that's where they'll make their money, is those like if they do, is in those like live betting moments.
Okay. Are they going to score in the last 45 minutes or
correct?
That sort of thing? Okay. Which makes sense that's where they get their margin, because that's like the most impulsive moment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a very big online sports books are all about, and online gambling is all about removing friction. How can we get people to deposit as soon as they open the app? How can we get them to bet as soon as they open the app? How can we get them to bet again as soon as they place one? It's all about making these things happen very quickly and removing the amount of decision time that you can have.
You don't want users to think before they act. Basically.
Yeah, it's like slot machines in Vegas, the chairs are set up so that when your arm is on the handrest, or when your arm is on the armrest, you can hit the button without having to like reach, right? Because those little things increase the amount of time that you may go, oh, I kind of need to go to the bathroom, right? But like if you just sit there, so it's all about, and that's why online gambling is so profitable, because you can just take away all of it. It's like TikTok, you know, it's the exact same concept.
Wow.
Like you want to just have people doing it as much as they can.
It's that meme of all the old people just hitting that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the first thing. Every time I think of a slot machine, that's like all I can picture.
Well, I mean, that's those industries like functioning at peak. Like that's like
this is peak performance.
Literally. Yeah. If you're a casino, like you love to see that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay. There's the Wired wrote a piece recently around, I mean, for those who do not know, Polymarket, they're basically, how I understand it, their non-app product, their product online, is actually illegal to use in the US.
Correct.
People get around that by using VPNs, and then they wager their predictions. They trade.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They trade. And
that's a huge friction, like a massive, crazy friction. Like it's shocking that they even get away with that.
It's crazy that they get away with it.
I mean, I love them, so
you're a huge fan.
I support it, but
that is the camp that you
sponsored
support.
by Polymarket.
Yeah, it's sponsored.
Dream scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please.
I would love for you to make as incoherent of an ad. You should actually just do this as a bit. Incoherent as an ad for Polymarket.
You could probably get it. It wouldn't be that. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. I really don't think it would. Like there was a story about their Polymarket's chief marketing officer just like sending Venmos to like influencers on Twitter, just be like 10 grand to tweet for us, like bang, bang, bang. Like like they have so much money coming in, right? Yes. So from like VCs and such. So it's like you could get your bag. It's possible.
Let's make it happen. Well. 10.6 to 26.7 billion funneled through the platform in the US illegally was what the Wired had reported.
Yeah.
And it's basically nearly 30% of the volume on Polymarket is actually US markets.
Yeah.
Does that feel, how did they get this information? Like,
so that is from this Rutgers statistician named Harry Crane.
Okay.
I tried, you said in the email, like we were going to talk about this and like, how did they find that number? And I like tried to read his like methodology, and it's like Greeks and like formulas.
Totally.
And I'm like,
I meant just more like exactly what you just said. So perfect.
Some like statistics wizardry is how they found that out.
Okay. A quant of some kind.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so I think that is what a lot of people have suspected for a while, is that a significant portion of the volume does come from the US, and that is what this report finds. Okay.
Extraordinary that they're doing that amount of business on something that is like so difficult to, I mean, once you get a VPN it's fine, but like it requires a commitment to really want to do the thing.
Yeah.
And you also have to like understand crypto in order to like sort of like to some extent.
You have to set up a wallet. You have to be like aware of what USDC is. And for like me, I'm like, that's just, I'm already out. Like there's no way.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to do
We've got some heads nodding in the studio. Okay. So historically sports weren't the main focus of prediction markets. And I feel like a lot of what they had talked about early days, both from the Kalshi side and the Poly Market side, was that like that's done. Like Sportsbook has that covered. We're going to do politics. We're going to do culture markets. We're going to do all these other things. They have changed their tune.
Yes.
It seems because they're like, oh, wow, like a faucet of money has been turned on here.
Yeah.
And you would agree that they've shifted focus a little bit?
I mean, that's what they've told me. I was talking to their president, Polymarket's president of sports business development. His name is Ari Borod. He was like, initially the focus for Polymarket was like economics and elections and stuff, but then there's been a real demand for sports. So, quote, we've shifted a lot more focus to that. Unquote. So, I mean,
you're like explicitly.
I mean, it's like any startup, like your consumers decide what your product is, right? So at the end of the day, like there's demand and like the money's on the table. And so, I think it's kind of interesting if you contrast like what in like the early 2020s, what Shane and Tarek and Luana, the founders of Polymarket and Kalshi, what they were talking about was like, we want to give people direct exposure to like a Brexit style event, like use event contracts to like find ways to hedge against very specific risks, etc. And now but then they realized like the Super Bowl contract happened and they were like, oh, like we can make a lot of money with this. And the users love it and they want it. So they've really gone for it. And
they're now directly partnering with like sports organizations. Like that just happened. Something in Mexico just happened. Right?
Polymarket is now the official partner in the US with Liga MX, which is the #1 soccer league in North America. More people watch Liga MX in the US than they watch like the Premier League or MLS, anything like that. So it's very big here. That's a big partnership with them. They have an NHL, Polymarket NHL, MLB, UFC.
And what does that like mean?
Right. It means indeed,
Their logo goes somewhere.
They're like they get the logos, they get the like
official.
It's the same thing with like Timothée and Kalshi, right? Like what does that really do?
I see.
That he tweets Kalshi, like it kind of signals credibility, like and
legitimacy of some kind.
Exactly. And on like a technical level, like now those markets will resolve with like official league data.
I see.
Like the league will tell them that like a point was scored rather than like someone seeing on TV that a point was scored. You know what I mean?
That seems kind of trivial. Like in the Okay. Like I don't care about that at all.
Okay. 2 other questions for you. And then we'll wrap. But what is like the legal difference between a sports book and a prediction market?
That is the question.
Okay.
So an event contract, which is the financial product that prediction markets are built around, is a contract. You decide that the outcome of something is 60% and you agree that the outcome of it not happening is 40%. So you put up 40 cents, you put up 60 cents. If you're right, you get his 40 cents and you have $1. That's an event contract.
Okay.
Right. So that's precipitated on 2 counterparties coming to an agreement about price. Prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket are effectively just brokers for trades. They're putting together users.
Okay.
A sports book is you say, I want to bet on the Knicks. And the sports book is like, these are the odds we're willing to give you. And you go, okay. And then that's sports betting, right?
Okay.
So that sports betting is traditionally regulated by the states, but because an event contract is a futures product, it's federally regulated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
I see.
Now, from the consumer point of view, what is the difference between an event contract and a traditional sports bet? I would argue there is none.
Okay.
And DraftKings and FanDuel have now basically collapsed the difference. They have something called their app is a super app now.
Okay.
So if you download the DraftKings app and you you open it in New York, when you see odds on a game and you bet, you're doing that through a typical sports book, like the state regulated kind.
Okay.
If you go to California where sports books are not legal, but prediction markets are, and you open the app, it looks the exact same as it does in New York. So the UX, UI, identical. It's just that the underlying product is an event contract.
Okay.
So from a consumer point of view, there is no difference.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the odds that are being set by the house, basically, is virtually the same as the odds that are being set in the market.
Yeah, so that's what prediction markets say is like the advantage. You get like price discovery, and you can do, there's more of a moving market. If you think, if the markets are like 40-60, but you happen to think that it should be 30 and someone else agrees that it should be 70, like you two can make that trade. Okay. Whereas like on a sports book, the house sets the odds. You don't really have to say.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
You're
democratizing price discovery.
Also on sports books, they'll occasionally like freeze events, which I don't really think prediction markets are doing regularly because it's a market that continues.
Yeah. You can, some sports books, if you place a bets close like once the game starts, and you don't get paid or not until the end of the game. Whereas a prediction market, like if the Knicks are at 7% and you buy and they go up to 50, you can sell at 50.
Yeah. It's dynamic.
At any time. It's a liquid market and exchange.
Okay. Cool. And then last question, and you've spoken a little bit to some of this, but with sort of the Supreme Court rulings that will be a big sort of decider, but where do we all land in 5 years here? Like, does the US legalize and regulate prediction markets? Does all of this continue to be like an offshore VPN style Wild West? I know you don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
Okay.
I wish one of the things I want the prediction markets to do is have like a will Supreme Court rule in favor of sports event contracts, but that's like the one thing that they won't do.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of telling and interesting.
Yeah, because they're like, we don't want that information public.
Right. That's like the one thing we don't want to market on.
Yeah.
So what happens in 5 years? I really don't know. I think that if sports contracts are still around, probably DraftKings and FanDuel do emerge as leaders because like we said, Polymarket and Kalshi, the idea is that there are politics, it's economics, it's like a exchange, that kind of a thing. One thing that sports books are really good at is acquiring new customers. And if these sports books figure out a way to use prediction markets as they're in to states like California and Texas that haven't legalized traditional sports betting, there's a huge TAM there, right? So I think that when it comes to the sports prediction markets, we definitely should not count out the sports books because this is their business. Like this is what they do, is market sports betting products. So I really don't know. I wouldn't want to make a call on like which of the main two prediction markets.
Fair enough.
The people that I talked to seem to think that Kalshi has like a clearer path to success than Polymarket does. I think the venture capital investors that I've talked to that have passed on the opportunity to invest in Polymarket say that there's a lot of FUD about the volume. I think that Wired report where 30% of it is illegal is, plays right into that. Kalshi has Kalshi got very lucky because they went the regulatory route, and then Trump was elected and there's super light touch regulation. So they managed to
the time to right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they managed to get the kind of regulatory approval, which Wall Street really likes and is interested in, only trading it if it's legit. And at the same time, the CFTC is kind of letting them do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right. The compliance is cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, I have one final question, which I cannot not ask you this because you're here. So I'm curious about how users empirically actually react to fees on these platforms, because some seem to have, they've been changing their fees structures recently, like Kalshi and Polymarket, I think have both made changes in the past few months. And I can't tell if users care about getting the best deal.
Right. That's a good question. I think that the people that are most opposed to it are the sharps, the people that are really the people that have Polymarket badges on Twitter are why are the fees changing? Because this is their life and this is their livelihood. So when you change the amount that you tax them effectively, that really cuts into their margins.
Right.
I think when we say that, we have to remember that 90%, a significant portion of the winnings go to a very, very small group of people. So anyone who would be the majority of people affected by fees are losing already.
Right.
Yeah. So it's only
you're taking 5% of my losses as opposed to 10% of my losses, like doesn't really affect.
I'm not getting the money anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's mainly the power users that are really put off by that.
Yeah.
And so much of that stuff is like revealed on Discord chats and internal docs, and like the layman poly market better might not even like really put it together that the fees are changing and these things are happening on the back end.
Yeah. Okay.
And then sorry, basically like loud minority. I would say
so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then so how do you, when you're talking about the World Cup, you were saying it's just going to be about acquisition. It's not necessarily about making money. So is it the case for this particular event that it's so competitive that actually the fees are kind of being pushed to zero? Or is there some other reason that they're not going to make money on it, or that's not going to be the fixation?
So the reason that they may not make money on it is just because of the way that the business of sports betting works. Sports betting companies' revenue is directly tied to customer losses, and their non-revenue is directly tied to customer wins, right? So like, for example, the last World Cup final, it was at the end of regulation, 90 minutes, it was tied 3-3. And Messi and Mbappe were two players, fan favorites, and both of them scored multiple goals. So a sports betting customer loves, like, he wants to put a bet on Messi, right? And so when Messi then has like an outperformance, that's great for them because they win, right? But the sports books, they've just lost because this player had like a total outperformance and the game was very exciting and like neck and neck the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So there's an interesting balance between like sports books want teams to go far, but like they don't necessarily want the favorite to win because that's who everyone's betting on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
that makes sense.
They kind of hope for an underdog story because fewer people bet the underdog. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Nick, always so fun to have you on.
I'm glad
I feel like we could talk forever. We'll have to have you back on after the World Cup is over.
Anytime.
And we can report on the numbers and see
A debrief.
A debrief.
Totally.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Okay, you can slide on out.
It was great to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Good to see you too. Okay, we're going to bring up our next guest in just a second, but I do need you to do some research during this break because I'm going to bring you on for 5 minutes after, because I just got a text from somebody that said, I need you to discuss the discourse around the Rata New York Mag essay. The moms are getting it wrong and they are too mad. You're the only hope I have. So you got to go do a little bit of research.
Okay. What am I? Rata
mom cover. It will come up. I saw it hitting the timeline right before. So do your own research and come back and we'll discuss.
I feel so much pressure. This is so serious.
It's really serious. You're a reporter. Okay. Our next guest here, David Rosenberg, come on down. This one here. How's it going? Good to see you. I think this is the first time we're meeting in person, right? Okay. We might need to move this up a little bit. Okay.
Am I here as the XBD guy at Polymarket? Like,
I know it's really, actually, I didn't even put that together, but I'm like, there has been like a very consistent themes throughout the episode here. Yeah. Okay. Quick bio on you. David Rosenberg is helping build Notion, where he leads the ecosystem team. Before that, he worked on prediction markets at Polymarket, Bitmojis at Snapchat, GIF at Giphy, and what you guys used to call location-based services at Foursquare.com. Your Brooklyn dad. Welcome to the show.
Occasional Emrata playground co-inhabitant.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You might want to pull that in just a little bit. There you go. Wow. Okay. That's breaking, honestly. Okay. You've had such an interesting career. I feel like you have worked on these emergent things throughout the last few years. GIFs, Bitmojis, prediction markets, and now working on what I would consider like the future of work.
Right.
What have you been optimizing for as you've made moves in your career?
Okay. I haven't said this in about 10 years, but we say hard G's for hard G's. So it's definitely GIF.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I just wheeled that one out. Getting some celebrations in the background. Okay. So the short answer is you got to look for expanding universes, right? Like, it's fun to work in spaces where you're sort of like given an extra boost by the fact that the thing itself is located in a thing that is already working. So, you know, the easy example would be like, you know, Foursquare was an app in the App Store pretty early. Like there was still alpha in distributing software on a mobile phone, which now seems like how
crazy.
old am I?
That was the era of when everybody kept saying mobile first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, Giphy, if you look at Giphy, you might think, oh, it's a website for finding, you know, cat GIFs or whatever. But actually, like, Giphy was a bet on a much, much bigger thing, which was, if you remember, like 2015 to 2020, approximately, messaging was eating the world, right? Like, these are some names you might remember.
Okay.
Like Viber, Tango, GroupMe, QQ, WeChat, WhatsApp,
totally.
Telegram, Signal, right? Like, the thing at the time that was completely changing how we use technology was the emergence of this paradigm of like bubbles on the left, bubbles on the right, and it ate everything. Giphy was effectively like a sort of one level down bet on that. And it was like, you know, communication is happening on mobile. Communication is visual, can be visual. You can encode a lot of information. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Someone needs to do the plumbing for all of this.
Yeah.
Just like we will pepper this conversation with cultural references. You know, we want to do the same on our phones. And like, that was basically the Giphy bet. We weren't selling the idea of the GIF. We were kind of going to people and saying, do you want to show up in people's texts? And like, all the people we were sort of selling to were people like us who were just terminally like getting used to this behavior.
Yeah.
You know, Bitmoji at Snapchat was kind of a COVID bet. Like, we're all stuck inside. What if this is it? What if we have to manifest our identity in some sort of cartoon avatar?
Yeah.
And then we developed a vaccine and
we all got back out there,
which is a better outcome. And then, prediction markets, you just heard about. Prediction markets are right. Like, I get to now sort of retreat back into the theory. If I still worked at Polymarket, I would have to be in the reality of like, you know, is it sports? Is it information? But like, from this vantage point, I can say like the thing that really attracted me at the beginning was this idea that you know, permissionless markets on everything is the core thing that a blockchain can do. That's pretty cool. Price discovery, like letting people compete for the price of a thing, is like the best mechanism we've ever invented to figure out the truth of something. So what if there was a place you could do that? And it felt right. And it turns out it's probably even righter than I realized. But of course, none of that even approaches what we're going through now, which is the current thing. I feel like Notion, we'll get to it, but yeah.
Wow. I love that as sort of just a way to approach your career, is like, where's there basically like this macro thing that's happening and a team or a product that took a bet that's a little bit early, but still you're still taking a bet on it where you're like, this could really not work.
Right. You don't have to even be working on the thing. Like there were 25 people that got to work at WhatsApp, right?
Right.
And they were bought for a lot more money than Giphy was. And that's because they built like a much bigger thing. Sort of like, you have to kind of locate yourself in the right context, and then things suddenly become much less binary. You're like, oh, if I don't work at this company, like, am I going to be left behind? It's like, right. But if you understand what this company means in some bigger way, that you can sort of triangulate very easily to other things.
Yeah. Totally. I think in that same vein, we've talked a little bit about this, but do you think everyone should be a founder?
I think everyone should follow their dreams.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Period. Yes.
But, you know, like 95% of people think they're an above average driver, right? Which can't be true. I think there's a little bit of a psyop at play, especially now, where, you know, you can generate with a prompt some of the primitives that used to be really hard, like software, and that would kind of filter out a lot of potential company builders or whatever. And I think you can derive a lot of meaning in your life. Perhaps even for the vast majority of people, you can derive a lot more meaning from the act of collaboration, right? Period. The idea, there's this meme of like the one person unicorn.
Yeah.
And there are kind of examples out there of people who have done extraordinary things in this age with relatively few other people. And that's amazing in some ways. But I think culturally, it probably sends the wrong signal to most people. And like, I'm the most people, right? I'm here to sort of represent people who are having a very nice life without having to carry that extra burden of like the founder thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth just kind of acknowledging the possibility that your life's work could very well be helping someone else do their life's work. And that's like kind of very meaningful as well.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have a thing that you can't sleep at night unless you do it,
you should do that thing.
You should do that thing. And like, I'm talking to somebody who's doing that thing. It's amazing. But it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I had dinner the other night with someone who said that because of these IPOs happening, that will happen probably, or big acquisitions, that there's going to be this Cambrian explosion of startups, right? Of all these people who like made money. And I was kind of like, wait, I wouldn't go work for somebody who waited to get rich to start the company. I want to work for somebody who couldn't sleep, you know, unless they did it.
Yeah.
I think like that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's also a good litmus test as people are thinking about joining teams. And one thing I've heard you say before is that fun is the ultimate moat.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I love that. We have a saying at Boys Club, fun only.
Right.
And that's will sort of guide some of the decisions that we're making. And I think part of what is sort of a direct opposite of what the narrative or the psyop is around being a solo founder or being an independent contributor is like doing things with other people is the most fun thing.
Yeah. You know, fun is, it sounds like a frivolous, you know, but fun, what it means in this sense, and I think Emily Sundberg, Feed Me, did a good bit about the TBPN acquisition. She was like, you cannot compete with people having more fun than you.
Yeah.
What does that really mean if you look under the hood? It's that they will do things that you won't because they are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Period.
Totally.
The fun in that regard, like, probably comes from their deep love of technology, the law, chemistry with each other. Like, it also just looks really fun. Trying to kind of do a facsimile of that, like at some point very soon, you'll just get lazy because you're just forcing it, right?
Totally.
And like from a Notion standpoint, it is really fun right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like it's sort of this weird thing where it's like, you know, it's Notion, it's serious. We like take it all very, very seriously, and it's hard to be Notion because it's like lots of customers and all this stuff, like the stakes are high. But right under the surface, there's quite a lot of giddiness that we get to like do this particular thing at this particular time. And then from there comes just quite a lot of drive that would otherwise be very difficult. Like you couldn't really motivate people to, I think, embody some of these behaviors with just money, for example.
Yeah.
I just don't think it would work.
Totally. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Notion.
Sure.
I think that if you had asked me 3 years ago if I thought Notion was going to be like a hyper relevant company today, I don't know that I would have said yes.
Sure.
But you all have done an incredible job at evolving Notion into what I would consider like a very relevant AI company at this point. How?
Yeah. I mean, part of it is agents really like context, systems of record, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just sort of like right place, right time a little bit. That makes it sound almost like an accident of history. It really wasn't, in the sense that it came from, just to go back to this like fun thing, I think it came from a good amount of genuine curiosity far enough back that it was relatively non-consensus.
Yeah.
This was before I joined, right? But like they shipped the first thing before ChatGPT came out.
Wow.
It was a writing assistant because that was all it could do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can fake this like thing that then years later manifests in what looks like a grand plan unless it starts with this itch that you just need to scratch. So I think like that's part of it. The other thing is it's such an old problem, right? Like organizing information for companies, you know, like filing cabinets, computers, like these are all manifestations of the same thing, which is there's a lot of information, there's a lot of context. You know, do you want to go talk to a human every single time you need an answer? No, that's why we have like solutions. We've had them for years. And then this thing called intelligence comes along, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
We can grow intelligence out of chips made of sand.
Insane.
Pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
The bet, you know, in a nutshell, the bet we're making is that you've got this thing called intelligence over here. It's magical. Absent some grounding context, like we talk a lot about like skills now. Like what are skills? They're just like guardrails, right? The bet Notion is making is if you can put the best, or actually in some cases like the right intelligence as close as possible to the ground truth, whatever that is, you will be more cost effective, more efficient. You'll just be righter more of the time.
Yeah.
Whatever your life's work is, like, you know, we have massive companies using Notion, and we have butchers and bakers and candlestick makers using Notion. So like it's sort of irrelevant what your life's work is. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's like make plans, do them. Now it's like wield this new magical thing to make you better and give you a mechanical advantage. And yeah, like our bet is on getting intelligence as close as possible to the metal. And the metal in this case is like the truth of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And then like profit.
Wow. I love that as a framework. Okay. So there's a lot of teams right now that are sort of trying to figure out, I think any early stage startup that is working in tech is in this moment of both excitement and a little bit like, oh fuck,
Right.
Things are changing every day. The models are new, and how that affects their business or their competitors or the larger LLMs are all these like moving targets that are constantly sort of in motion. So what advice would you give to founders, decision makers, like as these models are moving, so that they're not obsolete in the next 6 months?
Yeah. I don't think I have much to add to the Jalen Brunson quote from the other night, which is like, you are allowed to think about the worst case scenario, but then you have to do something about it.
Yeah, nice.
Right? Like you might get one shot by someone. You probably won't, in my opinion. That's like a different conversation as to why, but you might. What you should spend your time doing is something about it. Or in the case of like company building, get to know your customers better, build a better product, like work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It's unlikely to me that someone else's P3 is going to beat your P0 if that's your thing, if you just really, really, really care about it.
Yeah.
And like, there's also the other side of it, which is like, let's say there's some day in 6 or 18 or whatever months where like nothing matters, right? Like, let's say this is like a meme, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Totally.
But like, can we still just do the thing until then?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you're enjoying it.
Nice.
Like if it's a chore, then don't do it. But if it was a chore, then you're not having fun and someone else is going to beat you.
Yeah.
Even if they're not a frontier lab, someone else is going to beat you. So yeah, I again, this is like a cultural meme. I do think there's a little bit of a psyop at play. But the despair is not productive. Like it's people do extraordinary things. Like things change really fast.
Yeah.
You can be that change. You just have to do the work.
Yeah. I think one thing that I have taken away from this conversation and other conversations we've had is that I think some people have this like toxic positivity about the abundance and what's possible. And like what's baked into that is sort of this like frantic, like you might lose in this. And I think what you're speaking to is a different way of looking at that abundance, where it's like, because there's so many possibilities, like what is most likely going to happen is the people who are working the hardest and enjoying it the most are going to, like, the cream will rise to the top.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely like a meritocracy aspect to it, but maybe just to sort of think about it the other way or a different way. You have just like a limited amount of options, right?
Yeah.
And you should focus on the things where you maybe have an unfair advantage, right? And it's not that unfair advantage is never going to be at the intelligence layer, because we know who has an unfair advantage there. So what are you even worrying about? Like, to put it perhaps in a different way, if your inputs as a founder or a person just pulling to refresh, right? If your inputs are all extraneous, you're just like fully imbibing the vibe the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like a doom spiral, guaranteed. Every time you pull to refresh, there's like millions of calculations happening to make you feel bad.
Yes, totally.
I'm like guilty for sure.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of acknowledge that the meaning you might derive, or like progress or whatever, the thing that is worth doing is almost certainly not going to come from this extraneous thing. It's going to come from the personalization of those experiences. Like, in other words, you just have to think about stuff more. I went to a thing last week where maybe our mutual friend or my friend Reggie James said something.
Oh yeah, Reggie. Love Reggie.
It was like, LOL, it was about taste.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
It was that week.
Reggie.
No, but he cut through it really nicely, and he said, like, what is it? It's the personalization of culture, right? Like, culture is this thing over there. You can pull to refresh and experience it. You can go to a museum and experience it. Taste is what happens when it sort of enters your consciousness via a process. And that process is where all the magic happens. Like, you literally have to do the work.
Yeah.
Pulling to refresh is not the work. And, you know, that is a very sort of underwhelming answer. But it's the thing that, like, I fail at all the time. It also opens up the possibility. It's like a very vulnerable place. You're like, oh, I have to think about this now.
Totally.
Like, I have to form a view, and it's much easier to not.
Yeah.
But that's where the magic happens. Also, if you want to win, by definition, whatever you pulled and refreshed and saw is priced in. By definition. So you kind of have to do the work.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Last question here before we wrap, just because it was relevant and hitting the timeline the other day. So Anthropic released Fable 5.
Yeah.
Their most powerful model that they've made public so far.
Yeah.
When a drop like this happens, what happens in a company like Notion?
Yeah. Can I do one plug and then I'll answer the question?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone, I won't look at the camera. Everyone has to read dispatches from Token Town. Negotiating on behalf of the Fortune 5 million. Okay. It is an essay on Twitter/X.com by my wonderful colleague Sarah Sachs. And it is about being one of the buyers of basically tokens. It's basically about like how companies who are acting on behalf of many, many millions of other companies see their role and how it all works. So I'm going to give you like a quick view, but Token Town essay by Sarah. Notion. Notion is a customer. We buy tokens. Notion is also an evaluator. So we are asked occasionally, and there's a great Anthropic video from a few weeks ago about this. We are asked to give our view on the model before it comes out because, you know, we have, you know, a company building at the frontier might say like, you know, how does this work for legal stuff? And they have companies they can go to or finance stuff. And then I think for Notion, it's interesting because it's like super horizontal. It's like, how does this work for everyone? And so I think we play this role that is pretty valuable, and there's a lot of back and forth. Can you tweak this thing? We give the feedback. So that's like in the weeks before. And then there'll be sort of a cut. That'll be the final thing. At that point, we turn into a applied AI company, like a software building business. We have to go through a bunch of tests, make sure it finally works, make sure all this other stuff. There's a little bit of like a co-marketing dance. Like, is our name going to be on the thing? Are we going to give a quote? All of that stuff. And then, like increasingly there's also, we're trying to be responsible about sending the right traffic to the right models when users delegate that
to you guys.
To us. Some people like to pick their own, but I think over time, like what will more likely happen is we'll let AI choose the right thing for the right job, right? Like you don't need Fable to write a tweet. Although if you did let it write a tweet,
we'll see.
So then there's that, you know, make sure that all the traffic's going the right way. And then the irony is like, even this, which was like the big thing, it's like, we're already on to the next one.
Oh my God.
And so are they, and so is everyone. And that's just the way things are right now.
Okay. Wow. Crazy hamster wheel of AI technology. David, thank you so much for coming on. It's always so nice talking with you, and love what you're building and love your perspective. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Quasi, come on. Do you want to come back on for 5 minutes and tell me about what's happening with Emrata, and then we will change gears? Hi, how's it going? Good. Okay. Reporting live.
I've prompted my way into a rudimentary understanding of this drama.
Okay, I'm pulling it. Emrata cover. What? Okay,
let me take a look at my notes. So basically, Emrata has a child in 2021. She recently wrote an essay that discusses kind of like what her sex life with her husband was like in the 6 months following the child's birth. And then basically saying like, okay, we stopped having sex after 6 months. after the child was born, and then they got divorced. And then she basically just said, like, I had a little hoe phase where I was like running around, and she kind of like gives a list of like all the guys that she was having sexual relations with. Okay. Not by name, but rather, by descriptions such as like, I think
comedian.
Yeah, exactly. Like
a film director,
occupation, notable trait.
Yes. Okay.
Stuff like that. And I think she refers to herself as a supervillain. And then it kind of concludes like, okay, I went through this phase. And it's about like being a mother and then also like being promiscuous at the same time, I think is like kind of the vibe.
Okay.
And then like ultimately coming to the realization that she wasn't like getting what she needed out of that, and that her focus always was on being a mother, and that she could just like admit that to herself. I didn't read the source material, but that's like the arc of it.
That's the arc
generally.
Of it. Whoa. Okay. No wonder it is taking over the timeline. Kate sent you a text and you said no tweet. Okay. So I'm going to retry to do this. Basically she has some behind the scenes photos of her, because this is a New York Mag cover. That's the story. And then she's going to be on the cover of New York Mag. Okay. And the cover is basically like, from what the back behind the scenes photos, it seems quite explicit.
I saw these images. It's her with a doll, right? She's like breastfeeding a doll.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like sort of boobies out.
Right.
Yeah. Which I said last week, and I stand by it. Boobies, they're back. They're fully back.
I mean, were they gone? I think that's been sort of a cultural staple for a while, or maybe like a human
staple. Here it is. Okay. Behind the scenes of my essay, motherfucker, with like a little asterisk for New York Mag. Read it here. I think there's two things that I think. I'm so curious what the Fort Greene 2 thoughts. Fort Greene mom discourse is from the friend who texted me about this. But my perspective of this is, I couldn't be me, but I love to see it. Like being that open so publicly, naming names, the honesty that she is portraying in this article from what you just told me, I find it admirable. I couldn't do it. And I think it's her total right to go off in that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think like some of the most beautiful and moving pieces of writing I've ever read were essentially like personal essays where someone admits that they made a mistake and learned from it, because like that's such a beautiful and relatable arc that everyone goes through.
Why You Love Lena Dunham.
Literally, yeah. And it's like this incredible honesty, even when telling the truth makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I feel this similarly about this. I think it's like, okay, obviously she's doing this attention grabby photo shoot, but it's paired with like a really revealing essay about herself. So it's, to me, it's cool to do the 1-2. It's like cool to do both. Like get the attention, but then once you have it, like use it to say something that's very like revealing and honest.
Yes,
that's
totally.
Cool.
I think probably what is riling people up is, I am not a mother, so just like grain of salt. I know nothing, but I think other moms get upset when someone speaks to the experience of motherhood as a singular thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I would imagine that one of the most beautiful and hottest people in the world talking about their experience of motherhood is going to really trigger the timeline.
Right.
People are
going to
go,
not my experience. Don't speak for me.
Do not say that out loud. That kind of thing.
Right.
Like I remember when she first had her kid, she did this. She just like had this photo of her holding her kid, and she's in a bikini, and he's like kind of falling, and his head is like fucked up.
Oh, and the comments, you need to support the head. Like,
no, it was crazy. People got so mad at her, and I'm just like, they're mad because she's hot. Like if she looked like shit and his head was like this, no one would care. But like they're like, I can't see this. I can't see this in my vulnerable state, which I also understand. Yeah. But I think she gets a lot of hate because she's so hot. She's so hot. One thing that I do have to add to this is her ex-husband.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff about him. I don't really know the full lore.
Okay, I'm not going to get into that. You can find all the information you need online. All I have to say is this man lives the time again. Lives there.
Oh, really?
He's essentially a part of the furniture. Every time I go, he is there. And I saw the other day that someone was like, you remember when RFK Jr. was like, that show was like, not RFK Jr. Who's the one who died in the plane crash? JFK Jr. JFK Jr. That show was happening with him and Carolyn Bessette. What was it called?
Oh, I do remember this.
Love Story. He was everywhere. His style was all over the timeline. Everybody was talking about him on Twitter. And people were like, I miss the 90s in New York. You had Carolyn Bessette and JFK Jr. Now all we have is Emrata's ex at Time Again. And I was like, literally. Anyway, so he's there a lot. And
I wonder if he lives around there.
I'm sure he does.
Searching the streets for him.
And it's really funny because you will just like see the whispers of all women who are basically my age being like, oh my God, that's Emrata's ex. And I'm like, what a horrible way to be known to be famous for the guy who fumbled Emrata. Like that's kill yourself type behavior. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Wow. I think if I saw him, I would say, hey, I know your name, not your story. Let's grab a beer.
But you don't know his name. You only know his story.
I can look up his name. I'll know his name by the time I encounter him.
Great. Okay. That's a good stretch goal. Okay. That's our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you as ever to QuasiMatt for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks to Polygon and Vercel. Bye.
Peace and blessings.